I see this table is sitting up straight. This table, I would like you to line up right here. How should it be when the door is open? And I don't want any one of you to get hurt in here. So I told you, I don't keep anything from you. I'm going to tell you why I ask you to do everything. So that is why I ask you to sit like this, because I know that you're not going to trip over someone else's chair. Okay? Boys line, it's not very straight. I'm going to wait until you're straight so I can call another table. I'll send you to sit right back down if you don't get in a straight line. Facing forward, hands at your sides. Remember, when we're going outside, we're a model class. Other classes are watching us. How do we stand in line? Somebody raise their hand and tell me. Arhelianka. Genesis, I'd like you to have a seat, please. Thank you. Your hands are at your side. You're facing forward. Girls' table, I'd like you to line up. This table as well. Jose. There's a classroom outside watching us. Let's show them that we are an excellent class. Almost. I love how this line is standing. If this goes well, I'm going to add a minute to your free time on Friday. You see how they add up? Okay. Wonderful. Please stop right by that door right there. By the trash can, actually. Keep it silent. Keep it silent. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Week we are going to read to find out what the author's purpose was for writing the book. Now, whenever an author writes a book, he or she is writing for a purpose. There's a reason or reasons why this author wants to tell you this story. Okay? So this week we're going to think about the author's and the text's purpose. And while you're reading, I want you to ask yourself some questions. And I have 3 questions in particular that I want you to ask yourself when you're reading. And just take a look up here at the whiteboard. Savannah, I need your eyes up here, please. These are the 3 questions that you're going to ask yourself. Why did the author choose to write the story? What did she hope to achieve? And what was her message? Today we're going to read a story called A River Ran Wild. I wanted to let you know that our theme for this week is to read about Native Americans. And before we get started with A River Ran Wild, I'm wondering, what kind of prior knowledge do you have about Native Americans? Zachary?
They're in Western movies.
Okay, that you typically see Native Americans in Western movies? Okay, they're very different from us. Can you take that one step further? What do you mean that they're very different from us?
Like, they cook food different. They don't do the same things as us.
Do you think that there are some Native Americans that could also be similar to us? Okay, so but in some ways they're different than us. Maybe they eat different foods. They cook differently than we do. Sure, Justin.
We live in a house and they live in teepees.
Okay, that Native Americans, do they live in teepees now, or was that something from the past? Just to clarify.
From the past.
Okay, so in the past they used to live in houses that were called teepees. And so we're really going to consider different aspects of Native American culture this week. Kateri, can you turn your body so you're facing forward? We're going to think about different aspects of Native American culture. And since we don't have a great deal of prior knowledge, we'll build our prior knowledge by reading different stories every week. And at the end of the week, we'll have Miss Roxanne come in and do a presentation about Native American culture and traditions. Okay? And let's get started with our story. Long ago, a river ran wild. All the forest creatures that they killed to please forgive them. Let's pause for a moment. This connects to what Savannah said earlier, how the Native American culture is a little bit different than ours, because she said that they do things a little bit differently. I'm going to reread that last sentence, and I want you to think about what do differently than what we do. They asked all the forest creatures that they killed to please forgive them. How is that different than what we do? Take a moment to think.
I don't think they really wanted to kill the animals.
Why not, Zachariah?
Because that's Mother Nature. They don't want to kill Mother Nature.
Zachariah is hitting on such an important part of Native American culture. Native Americans loved nature. In the many years that followed, the settlers' village and others like it grew, and the Nashaway became the Nashua. The settlers worked together to clear land by cutting down the forests, which they thought were full of danger, wilderness that they would conquer. They hunted wolves and beaver, killing much more than they needed. Extra pelts were sent to England in return for goods and money. Let's pause for a moment. Damien, I need your eyes up here, please. I need you sitting on your bottom. Thank you. Earlier, we read how the Native Americans only killed what they needed, and they even asked for forgiveness, which is something that is a little different than what we do. Okay, for the most part, it's something different than we do. But now there are these other people coming in, and they're killing more than they need, and they're cutting down the trees because they fear what's inside the woods. I'm thinking about how that's so different than Native American culture. How the Native Americans only killed what they needed, but that these new people are coming in and killing more than they need. Why did she choose to write this story? What did she hope to achieve? And what was her message? I need you to answer those questions, please. Think about the author's purpose. Celeste.
Her message was that you can't throw salt into rivers or ponds or nothing, because then people and animals will die, because people need food from animals, so they're probably die with them.
I would agree that that was one of her messages in this story. 2 thumbs up to Celeste. That was an excellent way of describing the author's purpose. Anything else?
I think she wrote that because to make sure we don't throw stuff in the river or something.
Maybe she hoped to achieve this idea that if we don't pollute the water, that we could prevent this from happening once again. Absolutely, an excellent way to connect to the author's purpose, Kateri.